Hey folks, welcome back to another review with yours truly, Sam Healey. Today we're taking a look at this little guy right here. It's called The Mask of Anubis from Japan brand, and it is a cooperative game where all of the players are taking on the persona of a team of archaeologists that have found the tomb of Anubis, and they're trying to find the actual burial chamber of Anubis himself. And it's basically, it uses a VR, virtual reality app that is accessible by smartphones, and one person is looking through the goggles trying to describe what they're seeing, and the rest of the players in the game are trying to build the maze of the track to the tomb of Anubis, based on the instructions that the person looking through the goggles is giving them. It's a really neat little game. Let me show you how it works. So in the Mask of Anubis, you're going to be getting, first of all, this VR goggle, cardboard goggle thingy that you are going to be placing your phone into right here. And you'll be able to look through this to get the lay of the land, so to speak. While one person is doing that, the other people are going to be using these other components to build the scenery that the person who is using the goggles are looking at through the use of their VR phone app. And so you have these different corridor tiles. You have straightaways and dead ends and intersections and T-junctures and corners and the throne room, which is your ultimate goal. You also have these little I don't really know what they're called, but they are just basically monuments that you're going to be seeing on the floor. This is the dog that is accompanying the two archaeologists into the tomb of Anubis. Then you also have these guys that represent statues that you're going to see, murals of eagles on the walls, flowers that are going to be on the floor, fire sconces that are going to be on the walls, a little Anubis Jr. tokens as he'll be trekking through some of the walls as you go through the tunnels. Then you have little mistakes or error tokens that you didn't quite get in time. And then these numbered tokens are the ones that you'll use as each person takes their turn looking through the goggles. The first person will use, of course, that token, and then the second person will put that on the maze that we constructed from the instructions that they gave us, and so forth and so on. And then after everybody has taken their turn, we're going to take all those different pieces of that huge puzzle of the tunnels and fit it together the way we think it goes, and then we'll test it to see if it actually works. And if it works, we go on to the next maze, so to speak. So it's a really neat little thing. Let me show you the app, though. That's where the crux of everything is really happening. So as you start the app on your phone, you're basically just going to be, it's very simple. You tap to start, and you go through to the screen where you're going to choose which level you're going to start at, basically. And it's really simple. You just tap and it takes you right into it. But let's just go for the easiest one here and play. And then it will tell you to insert the phone into the mask. So we go ahead and do that like so. And now we are off to the races. So the first thing that you do is you look into this starburst, and it actually transports you into this maze of Anubis's tomb, and you can see all these different things, and you want to pay attention to all of the different landmarks, I guess you could call them. The dog is where you're actually going to start the journey. All of these different statues, the sconce on the wall, the different murals that are on the wall. All of these things are things that you have to pay attention to, and they are things that you need to be telling your other players in the game about what they are. And there's a little Anubis Jr. Going in and out of that wall, so you have to pay attention. And all of the different corners that are here, these are all important details that you need to be passing along to the other players in the game as they are trying to piece together that maze until time runs out. And of course you can see that you only have 60 seconds to do this in. So maybe he'll start by telling us he's at a teen intersection, and when he turns this way, he sees that there is a dead end. And at the end of that dead end, there is a statue, and then there is a mural on this wall, and then there's a flame sconce on this wall, and the little Anubis guy is walking that direction between this wall here. And then he says that there's another dead end right here, and that's where the doggy is. That's where the dog starts. And then this way there is a corner, actually, like that, and there's another little doohickey there, and then right over here is another statue, and he just continues. That's about the best he can probably do with this section. Oh, there's another thing here. There's a little guy right there. And then once the video is over, if he makes any mistakes, he'll use, if he didn't tell some of the things here, or the people building the maze doesn't get what he said, then these will be placed, instead of those things right there. So that's what these little question mark or exclamation marks are used for. So since he was the first one, the number one will go on top of it just like that, and then we'll set that aside, and the second place person is now time to go. And as the second person picks up the goggles, it's going to show them basically the very same screen. And so the second phase doesn't start until that person looks up into that starburst again. And again, you have 60 seconds. It drops you into another vantage point within the maze, though. And that's the important thing, because the first person saw a certain vantage point. Now the second person is seeing a different one. And the crux of the matter comes when you're trying to piece all of these things together. So there's some flowers there that the person's going to have to tell the other people so that they can mark that on. And as time begins to wear down, people can get a lot more frantic and start looking around a little bit more quickly. And it's just a very tense but yet very fun experience having this VR thing going on, and trying to figure out the best way to translate all of these details from what you're seeing through your voice to what the people are putting on the board. It's a really neat experience. And then as the second person begins, they'll say something to the effect of, well, I am standing next to the doggy. So the dog is right here, and then there is a corner, a hex like this, and there's another thing right here, and there is a idol, a mural, and the Anubis guy is walking this way, and there's a sconce on the wall here, and I'm standing in a corner, so that's like this. And there is a mask right next to me, a mural right next to me. There is a sconce behind the wall here, and there's a straightaway that goes this way like this, and there is a statue right here, and there are there's a flower here, and then on the corner down here there's another flower. And so then the number two person's thing would go on there, and the number three person would take place. And then once after the third and fourth players have taken their turn, you have a discussion, and you can just map everything out the way you see it fits, and you can fit everything together the way everybody agrees that it should fit together. And then once that is done, you go back to the app, and the app actually takes you through the solution. Let me show you how that looks. So as you're going through the solution, you click that button, check the answer, and then the app actually takes you through every single step to make sure that you can get your dog on the board through all of these different steps. And it gives you very precise directions, very detailed, no problems at all. And as long as you've made your map correctly, then your dog on the board will make it through. And of course, if it did, you click yes, and it shows you all of this other stuff. It gives you the little point icon. Oh, you got that. So that is the Mask of Anubis from Japan brand. Now this is kind of flying under the radar right now because it's a Japanese game and it hasn't really hit big, very big in a lot of different places. I know Rado has done a review of it, but that's pretty much it. I saw a couple of tweets on Twitter a few days ago about it where other reviewers are just now getting a hold of it. I've had it for a while. I just haven't been able to figure out, I was being lazy kind of, how to record what my screen was seeing on my phone so that I could give a proper, or at least a decent review of it, so that you guys could see what was going on through the VR phase of the game. This is one of those games where I like how it integrates the digital media that is out there and available for us right now. It's just a genius mechanic of taking that VR experience, a very basic VR experience. It is not, leading edge or anything like that, but it is very immersive because you actually kind of feel like you are absolutely there inside this dungeon. It's not a highly detailed version of a dungeon, but I mean you can definitely tell you're in a video game. But the idea is that this is one of those really close to being a pure hybrid of a video game or a video experience rather, and a board game, and the experience that comes along with that social interaction. I really enjoyed this, had a lot of fun with it. It isn't as easy as it would seem, which is one of the cool things about it. I mean, even the easier levels are kind of difficult because you're starting off with those immediately first levels, and you're kind of feeling out what is the best way to describe what you're seeing so that the people can effectively put that map together on the board. Now, the problem with that is that you've only got 60 seconds that you're looking at your little aspect of the entire maze, and once that 60 seconds is over, boom, it's done. You can't cheat, you can't work around it or anything like that. It starts at a new spot in another part of the maze. So I really thought that was ingenious, how it drops people in different parts of the maze so that they each have a different viewpoint, a different vantage point, and then everybody is supposed to kind of piece all of those vantage points together. A couple of times when we played this, we messed up on one little tile where it was supposed to overlap with somebody else's map or vantage point, and we didn't really catch that, so we failed and we had to start over. So it's all of those little nuances that come into this game that make it a really neat experience. And while the app integration part I don't think is cutting edge, of course it isn't. There's a whole lot of other VR experiences out there that are much more realistic in their video and all of that kind of stuff. So it's not cutting edge, but as far as a board game experience using a VR app, I think it's pretty much on the cusp of what we can see in the future, or what we maybe can expect in the future from this whole idea of this app integration revolution that we might be experiencing the very first fruits of. So I really enjoyed this game. I hope somehow that it makes it over to America from Japan, because I think this is a really neat avenue that board gaming can go into, or maybe even just leak over into, that a lot of people will have a lot of fun with. So that is the Mask of Anubis from Japan brand. Here's to hoping it makes it over completely here to America and to other parts of the world. We'll see you guys on the flip side.